Black Ops 6 Zombies gameplay all details absolutely everything you need to know. So as you know, we've just had the Black Ops 6 reveal, and we are going to have to wait until Call of Duty Next, where they reveal more information about multiplayer and zombies on the 28th of August. Although I'm sure we will hear more details in the meantime. Nevertheless, we know a lot about zombies already, and I thought I would take more time to digest absolutely everything so I can compile a very comprehensive video. And I want to give a big thank you to Magua Network over on Twitter, who has been a very good source in compiling all of the information that has come out. First things first, the bad news out of the way is it seems like there's going to be no way to play offline in the game. Now, I've already posted a video about this, so this is really bad news, but I'm not going to focus on it too much. Like I said, I have already covered it, and I just want to focus on all of the positives because this game really seems positive aside from this really negative thing. So the official description that we have for Black Ops 6 Zombies says round-based zombies is back. Black Ops 6 will launch with 2 brand new maps, Terminus and Liberty Falls, and a continuation of the intriguing and terrifying Dark Ether narrative that was started in Black Ops Cold War. Interestingly enough, Terminus is literally just called Terminus instead of Terminus Island, and I don't know, it just sounds kind of weird. I was expecting it to just be called Terminus Island, just like Zetsubo no Shima. I would prefer if it was Terminus Island. For some reason they've dropped the island from the title, but this isn't really a big deal at all. It's just the title at the end of the day. Hordes of the undead are set to rampage through these brand new locations, each offering countless hours of fast-paced action where power-ups are plentiful, but you are never more than a few seconds away from being overwhelmed and devoured. For newcomers, Zombies is Trek's unique take on a cooperative player experience where you face off against vast mobs of zombified creatures, with the bulk being the recently deceased, now animated due to strange eldritch forces. Expect every location you visit to be packed with powerful weapons, new and returning power-ups, a pantheon of revolting entities to face, and a host of secrets and Easter eggs to discover. Remember too that many of the previously revealed innovations in the movement and all of the different innovations that are present in multiplayer, Warzone and the campaign are going to be present in Zombies 2. Trek have said there are many additional zombie-specific features, both new and returning, which will be revealed in the coming weeks. So speaking of Zombies features, Salvage seems to be back from Cold War Zombies, as we can see it within the gameplay teaser, and will possibly be based on rarity again due to it having a green outline. Now, if you didn't play Cold War Zombies, this will be used to buy things like armor, weapon upgrades, score streaks, etc. However, they're changing it slightly up from Cold War Zombies. Of course, there's going to be perk machines on the map. Der Wunderfizz will also be returning. To get any of the perks, there will then be an arsenal armor upgrade station, which will allow you to craft, upgrade, and repair armor for damage reduction, and there's a crafting table which will allow you to craft various gear, equipment, and score streaks to assist you in your survival. However, apparently there's a brand new station which is a tool grinder, and basically it's not complicated at all, but all they've done is they've taken the armor upgrade station, which used to in Cold War Zombies allow you to upgrade either your armor or your weapon rarity, and they've simply split it off into 2 different upgrade stations. So simply the tool grinder will allow you to increase your loadout weapon's damage potential. So it's like Cold War Zombies where you're going to be able to pack a punch, but also increase your weapon rarity. So yes, the pack a punch is back in this game, which we assume is probably going to have 3 upgrade tiers once again, although I guess this is not confirmed. But according to rumors, it's now going to have a knuckle crack animation, which they're bringing back, which was absent from Cold War Zombies onwards because it was in place of a menu. Now, right now it's still unclear whether there's still going to be a menu that will pop up when you go to pack a punch in addition to the knuckle crack animation, but this adds a risk versus reward when you go to pack a punch, and it seems like you will still be able to upgrade the different ammo mods you apply to your weapon as well, such as Turned, Cryo Freeze, Shatter Blast, etc. Before I continue with the rest of the awesome gameplay information for Black Ops 6 Zombies, I first have a very awesome game to let you be aware of, so stay tuned. As fans of Call of Duty, I know you love first-person shooters. Well, are you ready for a VR experience that will blow your mind? Let me introduce you to Breachers, the ultimate tactical 5v5 VR-only first-person shooter that's taken the virtual world by storm. In Breachers, you get to plan your assault and orchestrate your defense as a team through intense close-quarters combat. Whether you choose to play as an enforcer or a revolter, you'll master some seriously nitty gadgetry, customize your powerful weaponry, and beat your opponents in stunning environments. Let's dive into what makes the game so special. First up, let's talk about playing as an enforcer. Your goal to eliminate your enemies and disarm their bombs with an EMP. Sounds simple? Think again. You'll be rappelling down halls, blowing up barriers, swinging through windows, and catching your opponents by surprise with gadgets like drones, cloaking devices, flashbangs, and breaching foam. It's all about tactical precision and outsmarting the enemy. On the flip side, if you choose to play as a revolter, your mission is to stop the enforcers from disarming your bomb by any means necessary. You'll be setting up door blockers, trip mines, static field emitters, and proximity sensors to defend your position. It's all about ambushing and making sure your defenses are impenetrable. Now let's talk customization. At the start of each round, you can purchase and customize your extensive weaponry for your liking. From pistols, SMGs, shotguns to assault rifles, every gun can be modified with attachments to suit your specific needs. Tailor your arsenal to fit your strategy and dominate the battlefield, and you won't want to miss the latest update. Breach has just got even better with the new competitive mode and an exciting new map that will push your tactical skills to the limit. These updates bring a whole new level of depth and excitement to the game, keeping it endlessly playable. But wait, there's more. Breaches is developed by Triangle Factory, the same talented team behind the free-to-play game Hyperdash. These guys know how to deliver top-notch VR experiences, and with Crossbuy enabled, you can get the Quest version and receive the Rift version for free too. How awesome is that? The game is designed to support various player modes, whether you prefer sitting or standing, and is comfortable with touch controllers, plus it's available on multiple platforms, the MetaQuest 3, MetaQuest Pro, and MetaQuest 2. So what are you waiting for? Dive into Breaches today and experience the thrill of tactical VR combat, or you can check out their alternative free-to-play game, Hyperdash, first. Dive into Breaches today and experience the thrill of tactical VR combat. Hit the link in the description to join the action. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this epic adventure. And remember, in Breaches, every moment counts. Plan your moves, master your gadgets, and outsmart your opponents to claim victory. Let's breach and clear together. And I want to give a huge thank you once again to Triangle Factory for kindly sponsoring this video. Now, for the biggest change that is coming to all of Black Ops 6 is the new omnidirectional movement. This is present in Warzone and Zombies as well, and this is going to be huge for Zombies because it allows you to sprint in any direction, including backwards, as well as it allows you to strafe and dolphin dive in any direction too. And we can see it in the footage. This is going to be revolutionary for Zombies in terms of training and evading hordes. This is a massive innovation for Zombies though, because it's going to revolutionize the way we play and allow for so much creativity and room for different ways to play that we never had the opportunity to experience before. It does make me think that there's probably going to be a load of bugs and out-of-map glitches found with this new movement system though, because dolphin diving back in the day was the way that people would glitch out of the map in, say, Black Ops 1 and 2. They removed dolphin diving. Of course, it was then brought back for Modern Warfare 3, but it's on a large open world map. But apparently Black Ops 6 has been getting playtested for 2 years and has had 4 years of development, so hopefully that long development time has allowed them to fix all of these bugs that might now occur due to this new omnidirectional movement system. There's also a new intelligent movement system that lets you auto sprint, auto mantle, and auto crouch by moving forward. And with auto sprint assist on, you can even set a delay for how long it takes to move you into tactical sprint automatically with tactical sprint assist. And tactical sprint is still here, but you can turn it on and off, and I'm assuming it's not going to be as needed now with this new movement system, which, by the way, everything can be turned on and off, so you can adjust the movement system however you want, and it seems to flow really nicely, and it's very easy. It doesn't require meshing a load of buttons. You are able to shoot while sliding as well. Everything is about just being in the action at all times. And because of this, we do see in the trailer that there's a brand new boss zombie, which seems to be this big, beefy, chunky zombie. And because, of course, this is going to be a new way to play zombies that we've never experienced before, I assume the bosses and the special zombies that they have in the game will be to try and counter this new movement, because otherwise I feel like it could be very easy to evade hordes. Now, we do see these chunky zombies many times in the trailer, so it seems like this is going to be a common enemy type and isn't going to be a primary boss on the map, so it's possible that this zombie type will be replacing the armored zombies that people didn't really like in the last couple games, Modern Warfare 3 and Cold War, and instead there might just be zombies that have more health, and because they are larger in size, maybe that is a way to kind of restrict this new movement system, as it might not be as easy to dart between them. Another big change is the fact that the HUD is now fully customizable in Zombies, multiplayer, and the other modes too, and it seems like you can remove literally anything from the HUD, as well as be able to place anything anywhere you want. And this is again a massive thing, because in Cold War Zombies and Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and Vanguard as well, people were complaining about the fact that Zombies has a mini-map, about the fact that there would be a score counter, there would be health bars on zombies, and people felt like it took away from the immersion. Now, we haven't gotten a look at the HUD yet in Black Ops Ops 6 Zombies, so it's unclear if it's just going to look exactly or pretty much similar to multiplayer and the campaign like we've had in the past few games. But even if it is very similar, the fact that everything can be removed now is a massive plus, especially for recording videos. I think it just makes for a more beautiful experience if you are able to just remove everything. The next big gameplay thing is regarding the fact that Gobblegums are back inside of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, of course, we already know this, but we've gotten more information. The official description says Gobblegums return in Zombies and Black Ops 6 and they're more delicious than ever. Gobblegums are everyone's favorite jaw-breaking confectionery power-up and will last available in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. These earnable treats are a special consumable that provide unique effects to players. Purchase or upgrade to the Vault Edition to unlock the Gobblegum Pack. This consists of 12 single-use Gobblegums offering unique in-game effects, which are apparently of a rare quality. So there's going to be different rarities for the Gobblegums. It seems like it's not going to be the same rarity system as we had in Black Ops 3 Zombies though. So right now we know you can get Gobblegums in the game, like I said, from buying the Vault Edition, as well as buying the Battle Passes, as well as buying the bundles post-launch. So I just hope they don't put a load of the overpowered ones in paid-for microtransactions. That would be awful. Of course, Black Ops 3's system, to unlock them, you could buy them with direct money via gambling, because you could buy Liquid Divinium, which was also an in-game currency that you would be able to earn. But of course, gambling won't be returning in this game because many European countries have outlawed it in games now, so that won't be back. But in the Black Ops 6 reveal live stream, Kevin Drew seemed to have some gumballs on his desk, and underneath was a Black Ops 3 book which says thanks for the feedback. So it seems that whatever the new system is to unlock Gobblegums in the game is based on feedback from Black Ops 3. They have apparently been listening, so hopefully it's a fair system and we don't need to buy microtransactions to get all of the good stuff. And I hope there's not too many too overpowered ones as well, because they really destroyed Black Ops 3 Zombies, and I hope they have a bunch of fun, whimsical ones as well that are just a bunch of fun to use, like Killing Time. So I'm thinking that maybe the way to unlock them is there's some sort of in-game currency similar to the Ethereum crystals from Cold War Zombies that you might just unlock at milestone rounds or exfilling or completing Easter eggs or stuff like that, and maybe you can just directly purchase any Gobblegums you want with these currency, and maybe they'll then be on a cooldown where you get them every 2 days, similar to the schematics in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, at least for the rarest Gobblegums like Perkaholic, Shopping Free, Round Robin, assuming they bring all of these overpowered ones back. But if Kevin is saying that they've been listening to feedback, maybe they're going to tone down the extreme Gobblegums. Of course, the less good Gobblegums will probably have less cooldowns, and maybe there's a selection of Gobblegums as well, the most common ones, that will have no cooldown at all, or maybe when you just boot up the game initially, there's going to be a set selection that you don't need to unlock or earn, and you can just use them whenever you want. Maybe there's going to be daily login Gobblegums as well. I'm not exactly sure how the system is going to work. Now, it's possible there might not be machines for the Gobblegums on the map either, like in Black Ops 3. Of course, Black Ops 4 then had the elixirs, which was basically a similar system, but you would spawn in with them, so it's unclear whether there's going to be machines or not just yet. We're still having to wait, of course, how Gobblegums are going to work. Now, on Kevin Drew's desk, there are some perks as well, which looks to be Juggernog, Speedcaller, Quick Revive, and maybe Tombstone. I'm not exactly sure. It is rumored all of the Cold War Zombies perks will be back though, and hopefully there's some new ones too. We still don't know if there's going to be upgrades for them like in Cold War Zombies with the Ethereum crystals. We're going to have to wait for further announcements. Now, the next big feature that's going to be returning is the Rampage Inducer. We see it within the trailer. We had this in Vanguard and Cold War Zombies, and this would allow the zombies to start spawning in at an extremely quicker rate and move extremely fast and hit more rapidly. So this would just make the game a lot more challenging, but you'd be able to progress a lot quicker. You could activate it at any point in time or deactivate it at any point in time. It's great that this is back, providing a further challenge for players. Like I said, exfilling is going to be back in the game as well. I'm wondering if that might be tied to the Gobblegum system, so you'll be able to leave your game at milestone rounds. Hopefully they make the exfills a bit more challenging than they were in the Cold War Zombies later maps as well. Progression of weapons is shared between multiplayer Zombies and Warzone 2 to be able to unlock, but apparently there's going to be a whole new system for unlocking skins and rewards from Zombies 2, and there is going to be Classic Prestige back as well. That'll be in Zombies 2 for both weapon prestige as well as the regular prestige. This is awesome. Definitely something to grind for, and I'm wondering what this whole new system will be in Zombies to unlock skins and rewards. Now, apparently the operators in the game, you're now going to be able to customize literally everything instead of just the base skin. Literally any part, the boots, the top, everything is customizable now. So that's going to be awesome for Zombies. We actually got a look at one of the zombie models in the trailer. Not really much to take from this. When you are killing zombies, they're going to have multiple different death animations now, depending on the part of the body you shoot. This is across all game modes. It's a very nice feature and will make killing those zombies even more fun, and mowing down the hordes. There is apparently going to be early access for zombies as well. Now, the PlayStation Store listed the game as releasing on the 17th of October, when of course it releases a week after on the 25th of October. So this could be when campaign early access is. Maybe zombies early access will be even earlier, or potentially on that day as well. There are rumors right now that maybe if you get the Vault Edition, it will give you zombies early access, but to be honest, if that was the case, they probably would have announced it, so I hope it's just for pre-ordering the game. If so, I doubt it's going to give you both maps early. I'm thinking because Liberty Falls is apparently the easier map, that one's probably the one they will give you as early access if they do go ahead and do it, but we're still waiting for more announcements. Now, finally, with all those generic gameplay details out of the way, let's get into the map-specific details, because like I said, there's 2 zombies maps at launch. Now, I hope that because there's 2 zombies maps at launch, there's a bunch for post-launch. I hope even 1 per season. I think 6 in total would make for an amazing post-launch and keep people consistently engaged, because it doesn't seem like Outbreak is returning for this game, and right now we don't know of any side modes such as Onslaught or Rush or anything like that, but I hope there are some more side modes on launch. I think that 2 zombies maps on launch is completely fine. Black Ops 4 of course launched with 4 maps, but they launched with a bunch of bugs and people felt very overwhelmed. I think 2 maps is fine, but like I said, only if there's very consistent post-launch maps, and hopefully we get some other side modes too. With that being said, let's get into one of the 2 launch maps, that being Terminus Island. This seems to be the more in-depth and comprehensive map though, and it's going to be set during the night on a remote Pacific island set in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's a very complex map and is dark and broody. What's more is that this map is going to be taking place at the exact same time simultaneously as the other map, Liberty Falls, which is going to be set in the day, but I'll come on to Liberty Falls in a second. But I wonder what this is going to mean for the Easter eggs of the map, because surely the Easter eggs are going to coincide with each other in some way. Considering they're happening simultaneously, this was clearly intentional, and also because the maps are taking place at the same time, depending on whichever Easter egg is completed first will affect how we receive the storyline, of course. But if Liberty Falls is apparently the easier map, it's probably the very likely one to be completed first. But it would be interesting if we end up doing Terminus first and it turns out that's the harder one, and Trek did not intend us to beat that one first, but it means that probably because Liberty is going to be the one we do first, that they've probably designed the Easter eggs in a way where whatever storyline information is revealed in that Easter egg will lead us on a cliffhanger to then discover the Terminus Easter egg. But it's going to be so interesting, the community hunting both of these Easter eggs at the same time and seeing how these stories intercept, and maybe the different maps give clues for each other even. Now, the storyline is of course picking up exactly where Cold War Zombies left off, where in 1990 Dr. Peck requested a boat to head somewhere in the Pacific. So he is heading to collect some old friends, so he ends up heading to this island to try and break the Requiem head / strike team that were imprisoned by Eddie Richtofen at the end of Cold War Zombies. So they have been in there for 5 years between the end of that game and 1990. Interestingly enough though, Dr. Peck is not one of the playable characters on the map, so we're not sure exactly what happens to him storyline wise as to why he's not a playable character. Now, it seems that the map, whilst it is set on an island, is going to have a boat on it that's going to be right by the shore, and is going to be a physical part of the map too, so maybe it crashes on the side or something. The boat will apparently be a playable part of the map too. It's unclear if it'll still be within the water or if it's crashed off on the side. This map is going to be featuring a main crew at last. This is huge. This is the biggest thing that Zombies needs. Lots of people complained about the operators in the past few games just being generic and not feeling engaged with the storyline. So basically, Terminus will let you either pick operators or the dedicated crew. Now, the dedicated crew are still going to be operators as well. However, they will have more character dialogue and deeper lore, and they'll be tied to the Easter egg, giving unique quotes for it. And the main crew are going to be Dr. Gray, and for those asking why she looks a lot older, we see her from the cutscene in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, which is dated years after this, in 1996, that she has aged considerably because the exposure to the Dark Ether has been killing her, so that's why she looks so different. Maybe this is the date when the final Zombies map is going to be, in the post-launch, so it could span 6 years, unless there is a time jump at some point. The other character is Gregory Weaver. Again, he looks older, but not as old as Dr. Gray, I guess because she was the one doing experiments on Ethereum, being a doctor of course, that maybe she's been exposed a lot more. We then have Carver back, and then there is a new character which is called Maya Aguinaldo. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly, but she is being played by Chantal Barry and is of Myanmar ethnicity. So somehow they have been broken out from the prison. Terminus is the only map that we actually have gameplay of right now, although we do have a preview of Liberty Falls, which I'll come on onto in a little second, but the actual gameplay of Black Ops 6 Zombies is just off Terminus, and there is an underground prison, and we know there's going to be a laboratory there, because it seems like in the 5 years, whilst they were imprisoned by Richtofen on this island, they were experimented on by him. So I find this very interesting, and I wonder how they got out. Was Peck successful, or did they have further help? Now, we have a description of Maya. She is apparently helping the characters be freed, but apparently she has an ulterior motive. So while she is helping them, she's doing it for some other purpose or some other cause. So I'm wondering what that is, but that's going to be integral to a character. We also don't know where Strauss is, because Strauss was, of course, the other Requiem head who was imprisoned here on Terminus, and we don't know where he is being kept. Is he going to be communicating to us on the map via radio, or maybe he's been moved elsewhere by Richtofen? Maybe he's been forced to work as a scientist for Richtofen. Of course, we know that the characters end up sacrificing themselves with this Ethereum device. Maybe Richtofen is forcing him to work on this device, for example. Nevertheless, I'm very intrigued by this story setup, and I do wonder where Strauss is. I think this would have been a good opportunity for us to have the first 6-player crew, though, considering they could have had Dr. Peck and Strauss's characters too, but nevertheless, at least we're getting a crew back. I wonder if we're going to hear about Richtofen on the map at all, because he's in charge of this island, of course. Where are the people guarding the map as well? How did they get free? Are the guards all killed? I'm not exactly sure. Now, this is known as Black Site 13, like I said, where Requiem were held. On Richtofen's computer screen, he said he was taking the strike team to Black Site 13 as well as the Requiem heads, but as it turns out, Black Site 13 is the exact location of both where Requiem as well as the strike team were taken. Now, I wonder if Maya was also a prisoner on this island and she has managed to escape as well, or maybe she infiltrated the island with Dr. Peck. Maybe Dr. Peck and her teamed up to go onto the map. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where Peck is on the map, and apparently Maya is going to be working with Dr. Peck, so most likely either before he grabs the boat or afterwards he meets with her. Maybe she is even a commander of the boat and they head to this island together. Or maybe a zombie outbreak incursion happened on the map and this caused all of the guards to be killed and allowed them to be freed. I'm wondering if that is actually how Peck and Maya managed to break them free. What if they intentionally caused the zombie outbreak as part of their plan? Now, there is going to be a massive Ethereum cannon that you can see on the map that looks absolutely insane, and this trap seems to act like a magnet, sucking them up and then obliterating them. It seems that whilst you are on this island, there is incoming explosions. In the trailer, we do see that there seems to be some sort of napalm blast or incoming explosions, and it's unclear if the player activates this or if someone else is activating it, such as Richtofen, or potentially this is just a score streak in action, and the explosions do seem to set the zombies on fire afterwards, so they'll probably act like napalm zombies that will explode when you shoot them like in the past. And like I said, it's unclear whether this is a score streak or maybe a trap you activate on the map, or like I said, maybe you are being attacked from the island's defenders. Now, according to leaks, there's going to be tentacle hellhounds on the map. I guess the Dark Ether has corrupted them, and because of the boat aesthetic, that's why they now have tentacles. Apparently there's going to be a tentacle trap on the map as well, so maybe some sort of kraken. I wonder if the boss fight for the end of the Easter egg is going to be some sort of giant kraken similar to what we had in Extinction. That would be very cool. I wonder if this is also the location of where the Ethereum warheads were sent in the first Outbreak quest by Ravenov and Samantha Maxis in Cold War Zombies. It's not the exact location, but maybe it's close enough that explains why all these zombies are coming here, and maybe why giant tentacle-like octopus creatures have been mutated, because they might have been hit by these Ethereum missiles. Now, apparently manglers are going to be returning inside of this game. They've been found in the files, but we don't know if they're going to be on Terminus or Liberty Falls or both. I think they make more sense probably for the Liberty Falls map, but I could see them being on both. This map has been described as being a complex map with several divided sections, including the main prison and maze-like elevated platforms. So there's going to be an elevator to transcend, and you'll take an elevator down to the prisons below, which is very similar to Zetsubo no Shima. With the Takeo boss fight, this map very much reminds me of a mixture between Mob of the Dead and Zetsubo no Shima, with the fact it's an island just like both of those maps, and it has a similar jungle aesthetic as well to Zetsubo no Shima being very dark and gritty, and I love that, and I hope they introduce a lot of Lovecraftian things as well with these tentacle-like things we know are going to be on the map. And it is also rumored that the wonder weapon on the map is going to be similar to the Sliquifier, which was of course similar to the KT-4 on Zetsubo no Shima, where it will cause the zombies to bubble, so it's unclear how that's going to work as well. But yeah, this Dark Ether cannon is insane, and that shows you the technology that Richtofen has been able to create in between Cold War and Black Ops 6 Zombies using the Ethereum research. And I do wonder if somehow that's going to tie in with the campaign in any way, because we know it's all about the CIA being infiltrated by a shadowy organization, and of course we know Richtofen himself has infiltrated the CIA, and he pretty much has all the higher up officials potentials at his disposal, so that could definitely tie into things, and maybe all of this Ethereum research that he has been doing eventually explains why all of that futuristic tech exists in Black Ops 2. Apparently the map's also going to feature an arrow trap. We know that there is going to be a system to turn on power on the map with at least one power switch, because we see purple dark ether arrows in the gameplay, which is just like D Machine, which leads you to power. I really like them in D Machine, and they may lead you to Pack-a-Punch as well. I'm so excited for this map, and I wonder if the Easter egg's going to be very difficult, or at least more like a classic Zombies Easter egg, considering they've described this map as being more complex. Now, for Terminus, we know that Jack Fletcher from Modern Warfare 3 Zombies enlisted here in 1993. Now, the map's taken place in 1990, so most likely we successfully managed to rescue the Requiem heads, and then the zombie outbreak is contained, and then at some later point, Richtofen has soldiers moved in on the map to guard it. Most likely they're doing further experiments. Now, whilst Requiem were kept here, they were experimented on in the laboratory, and that's how Ava Janssen was seemingly born for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and the Entity, because if you've not been keeping up with that story, it seems that Samantha's egg was extracted by Richtofen so dark when she was interrogated in Block 8 by him, and then it was inseminated with Ravenov as the father, and then put inside of Dr. Grey to birth her, which is absolutely ridiculous, but that's going to play a big part in the story. And we don't know what's going to happen to Samantha Maxis in this game, because of course Modern Warfare 3 Zombies lets us know that the characters tried to save her, but they failed. Of course, we know they end up dead by the end of the game, so will we basically hear nothing of Samantha the whole game, and then they end up failing? Surely there's got to be some sort of twist, because Modern Warfare 3 Zombies really spoils what happens there, so I'm expecting something weird to happen that we're not expecting, because I really do hope we see Samantha again. I do wonder where the name Terminus comes from and why this was chosen. Jack Fletcher, of course, ended up naming his group Terminus Outcomes after it, but where did Eddie get the name Terminus from? What's interesting about Terminus, and this is a big throwback, because it's actually based on the map Battery from World at War. It's not the exact location, and it's definitely not a one-to-one remake, but it has taken inspiration from this map that was released all the way back in 2009. Like I said, the maps are very different, but I have heard that this is actually inspired by it, and I really wonder if Terminus could come to multiplayer as well, since it is based off of this old World at War multiplayer map, and actually it really looks like a Resurgence map, so I really wonder if it could even come to Warzone. They could repurpose this map and get multiple uses out of it. We know that Verdansk is apparently returning as the main Warzone map, and maybe this map, after the Zombies map is set, could then come over to Warzone, because we know Jack Fletcher, like I said, enlisted here in 1993, which seemingly is after the Zombies experience. So for him to be there, that could explain the multiplayer or the Warzone experience if they set either or afterwards. But that's everything we know about that map. Now moving on to Liberty Falls. So Liberty Falls is going to be set in West Virginia during the day, and like I said, it's going to be happening simultaneously to Terminus. If you are unaware, from the end of Cold War Zombies, Eddie Richtofen, as the director of Requiem, had this town shut down in West Virginia. That is of course this map, and he's doing something for Project Janus here, which likely involves some sort of giant dark ether gateway, which we seem to have some sort of preview of in the campaign trailer, which, like I said, maybe the campaign and zombie stuff ties in there with the fact that Richtofen is high up in the CIA. Nevertheless, Richtofen had this town shut down, and he was moving scientists in, custodians in, army personnel in. However, he was trying to extract all of the civilians, with a cover story saying that there was a nuclear power plant leak nearby. And we know Miller from Modern Warfare 3 Zombies was present here as a child when the zombie outbreak began, so we don't know why the zombie outbreak begins, but Richtofen was of course doing zombies experiments here. The map's going to be set in the Appalachian Mountains in a small town where an ether incursion occurs. It has locations such as the comic shop, a bowling alley, a bank, church, and more. Apparently it's very easy to navigate and is bright and sunny. So yeah, this is going to be the easy map, with Terminus being the hard map. Now, a big complaint in Cold War Zombies was that the Easter eggs were too easy, so I'm wondering if Treyarch are going to try and balance that, so they have an easy map and a hard map on launch, and maybe Liberty Falls is going to be more like Cold War Zombies Easter eggs, where they walk you through everything and it's very self-explanatory, but then Terminus is a lot more complicated in terms of the Easter egg as well, and revolves around puzzles and stuff. Apparently this map is going to be based on a real-life town known as Harper's Ferry. It's going to look very similar to this, with the bridge and everything. However, apparently they've mixed in elements from Transit from the town section. It's apparently not going to be a remake, but it's taken some inspiration. There's going to be some elements from Transit on the map, and the jet gun has even been found in the files, which seems to be the wonder weapon on the map. Apparently there's also going to be some sort of Easter egg that's going to revolve around a vermin jump scare. Now, the setup for the map is an elite unit has been sent in to investigate what has happened here, and it's set in an iconic setting for zombies, an American 90s theme. There's a video store, motel, gas station, a church. Dalek has described the map as not seeming like a transit reimagining in any way, but he only saw a brief glimpse from above the map, so it's likely he just didn't get to see long enough, but apparently the map is taking elements from town, so I'm very excited to see the setup for this map. But basically Richtofen's controlling both maps and is responsible for both maps. Now we know that there's a multiplayer map in the game that's actually going to be set in Liberty Falls as well, because we even see a Liberty Falls police truck. However, it seems that the multiplayer map, whilst it is going to be of course a similar aesthetic and reusing loads of assets from the zombies location, it's not going to be exactly as the zombies map. This is just a different part of the town apparently, and for people complaining about reused assets, most likely I think the zombies map was probably built first and then the multiplayer map has taken inspiration from it. Maybe we're going to go to Liberty Falls in the campaign as well. I'm guessing the multiplayer map takes place before the zombies map, before the outbreak begins, and before Richtofen maybe moved all of those civilians out of the town. We do know that the civilians were asserting their rights as American citizens and were refusing to leave, so maybe this then caused the multiplayer map to occur because Richtofen had soldiers brought in to try and evacuate all of these civilians, and it caused them to fight amongst each other, explaining the multiplayer map. But that happened in 1985, which is a while before the campaign, so I find that interesting because apparently the multiplayer in Black Ops 6 is going to be taking place after the campaign, which takes place in 1991. So the multiplayer map might be taking place after the zombies map or before. If it takes place after the zombies map, that means we successfully stopped the zombie outbreak there though. So with the zombies map being in 1990, the campaign being in 1991, with the multiplayer map then being in 1992. Whilst they have said multiplayer takes place after the campaign, that could just be for the general overview of maps. It doesn't necessarily mean that some maps could be set in the past, because that's what they have done with prior Call of Duties, but really it doesn't matter whether it's before or after. I am wondering why the outbreak happens on Liberty though. Was this intentional as part of Richtofen's plan for Project Janus? Maybe he opens up a gateway for it and that causes all of the zombies to come out, or maybe even something goes wrong. Maybe he's doing dark ether experiments on the map, something goes wrong and causes an incursion. We know a terrible atrocity happened on the map, so either a load of civilians were killed by the zombies or potentially Eddie's soldiers. I'm so excited to see Richtofen back in this game. Now, it seems that Liberty Falls, because it's described as having an elite unit, is just going to be operators and is not going to have a set crew like on Terminus, because whilst Terminus has a set crew, they are operators too, so it kind of implies that Liberty will just be operators, which I guess is fine if we have one map that's more story focused and one map that is less story focused. Maybe in the DLC for the game, they're going to alternate back and forth between having an easier, more simple map just with the operators and then a more complex map with the Terminus crew and harder Easter eggs. You know, they could alternate back and forth so that both types of fans have something. Let me know what you think in the comments of that. It doesn't seem like every map is going to have a set crew though. I do wonder if the set crew is going to be the same in all of the DLC as well. Are we always going to be playing with Weaver, Gray, Maya and Carver, or are they going to switch things up? For example, you know, some of the characters could be replaced with Dr. Peck or Strauss in future maps, or even Richtofen, which I highly doubt. I really want to see him as a playable character, but I hope he at least comes as an operator. But the problem is in the story, he's of course in the back seat, so it wouldn't really make sense for him to be an operator, but he would sell so much money. But I hope he is a proper playable character, but I guess it doesn't make sense narrative wise. The interesting thing is though, because the Terminus crew are going to be operators as well, I guess that means you can boot up Liberty Falls with the Terminus crew. However, I'm guessing this just won't be canon to the storyline, and they will just have generic dialogue on that map, whereas if you boot up as them on Terminus, they're going to have more in-depth story dialogue. And what this means is that you can play as the crew in Warzone as well as multiplayer too. And I wonder if that will actually give us more storyline for these characters, because of course they'll have quotes in those modes too, so I wonder if they will reference to anything. But this means that they were not just in combat in zombies, assuming that this is canon to the story as well, but with the multiplayer apparently being taken place after the campaign of the game. Is it similarly going to take place after the events of Terminus, or in between the events of Terminus and future maps? Now in the Vault edition of the game, of course, we're getting Klaus and Brutus skin operators, and we have the description of each of them now. Now it's unclear if these are just going to be operator skins or if they're also going to be boss enemies on the maps. For example, Brutus makes complete sense to be on Terminus considering it's a prison slash laboratory, so it makes sense to have the warden there. And then Klaus would make sense to be on Liberty Falls considering it seems very similar to Transit, and Klaus is very similar to Ted. But anyways, Brutus's description says, last encountered in Black Ops 4's Blood of the Dead, the warden of Alcatraz is reborn again as a Black Ops 6 operator, reanimated by otherworldly forces. This custodian of hell's most evil inmates will not and cannot rest until his charges have been safely returned to their cells. With electricity acting across his heavily armored bulk, his hunt begins. Then we have Klaus, which says, Elizabeth Gray's automation will assure you that it is just there to help, but there is something deeply unsettling in its bearing. It could be the number of prior murderous killing sprees masked by its enthusiasm, or simply that it seems unable to grasp exactly how fragile humans can be. Expect Klaus to be switched on at launch. So it's unclear if these are canon. Of course, Klaus was last seen when he sealed Valentina's gateway away and took her bomb into the dark ether, so it could be that these are non-canon or he's going to return in the story. It's a bit unclear. Anyways, that's everything we know about Black Ops 6 Zombies so far. Thank you for watching the video, and make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.